Big Boys and Big Girls program's an addiction program. Number one, we know that the symptoms of whatever they're suffering from, being diabetes, high blood pressure, some people have cancer, it all comes from the lifestyle, from the food that we eat, and the addiction to the lifestyle, chasing the way that we want to live, and the way that the food reacts and sends us messages inside our brain. I feel like they don't have a place to be. There are many gyms out there, and I was saying before that there are more gyms in Manukau per capita than anywhere else in the world. So we have an abundance of fitness facilities, but they're not going to them, or they're going to them for a brief period, because the food that we eat gives us a quick fix, and what they're after is a quick fix for their health and their weight loss. If they can't get a quick fix, they go straight back to the addictive substances that we eat, which is bad foods. The lifestyles that we live are so busy, and we're busy running around trying to look after our children and look after our families and be good employees, that when we get home, at home we call it an uncontrolled environment. So at work, you have to put in X amount of hours and you have to do what you need to do to work. At church, the same thing applies. At sport, the same thing applies. But as soon as you get into your car or your home, that's an uncontrolled environment where you take control and you just give yourself a reward every time you want one. So when you're in a controlled environment and you sustain from eating badly, or you're at someone's house, or you're at the gym, or you're at a sport, and you sustain, and then you go back to your home, and then you binge and binge and binge. And it becomes like the remote control in the TV. The remote control doesn't answer back, and the TV just gives to you. And that's what food does. Food doesn't answer back, it just gives to you. But what it does is it fills a psychological void. It ticks the box, and we have no idea that what's happening is our pancreas is releasing insulin at 1,000 miles an hour. Suddenly we've got high blood pressure. The doctor gives you a pill for high blood pressure, but it's taking care of the symptom, not the problem. We work on a philosophy of you give to get. Because when you come in for yourself, it takes a special person to be able to walk through the door and be able to grab something and take it for themselves. Because the reason why they've got so out of hand or out of shape, and their health has gone west, is because they're busy looking after everything else, and their health is no longer a priority. Inside the Millionaires Club in America, what they do is they say, what is the only thing that you cannot buy? If you could have as much money in the world as you want, what's the only thing you can't afford? And they tell you, it's your health. Once your health goes backwards, you haven't got enough money to pay for another kidney. You can't pay for another pancreas. You haven't got enough money to reverse all the ill effects that the food and drugs are doing to you and your lifestyle. So we know that holistically, what we can do to combat this is put good people that are suffering the same in a room together, and they will save each other. That's the number one thing, is that they are willing to do everything else for each other, like what they have done in their life so far. They're looking after their children, they're looking after their employer, they're looking after everything, but they're not looking after themselves. So if we gave them a job to do where they look after other people, what are the chances of success? And it's extremely high. Give them a job to do, get them to save someone else's life. Suddenly the world turns around for them. They walk around going, wow, I didn't realize this was going to work. How the hell did this work? What happens is that life is hard. It's hard enough. They don't need to go to a gym and have some sergeant major barking orders and saying, do this, do this, do this, or get out. Don't waste my time. It's like, I've had gym instructors in here before that have said things like, hey guys, we're putting a lot of effort into you and you guys need to do this properly. And I pull them aside and go, no. You don't talk to my people like that. You realise how hard it is for them to walk through these doors? They feel like they don't fit. They don't need you to tell them that. They say worse things to themselves on the inside. They don't need you to say it. Love and compassion is the key. But most of all, you need to have fun. It's the lifestyle that we're leading, number one. We're so stressed out. What happens with stress is that it's related to our liver. And when our pancreas is, what happens when you're stressed out? Your blood pressure goes up. We then go to the doctors, and the doctor's going to give us pills for high blood pressure. But it doesn't take away the stress. We ask them to come back, and we ask them to save a life. We ask our people, if you could bring someone back and you could help them and save them. And they say to me, but I thought you were going to do that for me. And I go, yeah, I am. I will do that for you. But it's not big enough unless you're saving someone else's life. So the reciprocal relationship of we help them, they help somebody else just keeps going. It's infinity. It will never ever stop as long as someone goes out there to save someone else's life. It's not up to me to go and do all the work. It's up to them.